SummerSlam is this coming weekend, and we're going to do ourselves a prediction video on all 12 announced matches and talk about maybe 2 or 3 more potential ones they can add to the card. Let's start off with the most anticipated match for most people, and that's Brock Lesnar versus Femi. Now, this is their third encounter. Their first encounter was at WrestleMania, and Brock actually even retired for 3 weeks, and then he came back, and then they had a second match where Brock won. And now we got ourselves a rubber match, and it's in Hell in a Cell. This is going to be a great Brock Lesnar match. This is going to be a great Femi match, but it's going to be a very bad Hell in the Cell match. And what I mean by that is, Hell in a Cell, there's certain expectations, and there's just not going to be that kind of violence. I don't think it needed the cage. I think just these two alone was the spectacle that we needed to be interested. But, nobody's getting thrown off the cage, and I don't even want anybody thrown off the cage because, that's dangerous. I mean, there might be a chair, there might be some stairs involved, but we're not gonna be doing bags of thumbtacks, nothing like that. It's just gonna be a 8-minute Brock and Femi spam fest of finishers, and that's all we really need. Oba will win. We'll probably get the Brock Lesnar handshake and hug that signifies that he is endorsing him as the next big thing. So yes, Femi totally winning this matchup, no questions asked. But I do have a question for you boys and gals out there. Would you like to win this title on my shoulder? Because if you answered yes, well, you can. All you got to do is comment below and be a subscriber to this channel, and you can win. I'll ship it anywhere in the world free of charge. And people, just for the record, it's not a toy. It's a replica, and it can be yours. Next match, we got a 6-man tag team matchup. We got Solo, Sikoa, LA Knight, Royce Keys versus the Usos and Jacob Fatu. We're going to give it to the Bloodline. Jacob Fatu will probably pin somebody. The only way I could see the Bloodline losing if we use that to crash out Jay and Jacob against each other. Actually, that is, I'm changing my opinion here, because if they win, then everything's hunky-dory. But if they lose because of miscommunication, then the next night on Raw, we could have Jacob and Jay at each other's throat for Roman to do something about it. We could even have Solo do the pin. He is on the comeuppance. It seems like Solo has been given a lot of airtime recently to kind of showcase his new babyface persona. So, you know what? Yeah, I'm going with them. And then maybe LA Knight can use this to springboard into a #1 contenders match where he will definitely lose because, well, Triple H likes to make LA Knight lose. But yeah, you know what? I'm going Solo gets the pin, which causes havoc in the Bloodline. There's another 6-person matchup, and that's the women's. We got the Bellas and Paige, a returning Nikki Bella, versus Fatal Influence. And while there is an argument to let Fatal Influence win because, well, you know what? They're a new upcoming team, and, well, they're a cohesive unit. They've been a cohesive unit since NXT days, so logically you would think that as a team, they would be better than the Bellas and Paige. However, logic, who needs it? Paige and the Bellas are going to win this. In the long run, it'll be inconsequential. The Fatal Influence, they already have the tag belts, so even if they eat a loss here, they can just blow it off. 6-person tag matches really mean nothing, so they just go to SmackDown and be like, haha, we're still champions. Doesn't matter that we lost. Sami Zayn versus Finn Balor. This one literally came out of nowhere. There is really no heat between these two. This is a #1 contenders match for whoever wins between Cody and CM Punk. This one is very difficult because, I don't know, it just seems like we should just give it to Sami, right? We should just give it to Sami. That way he can get that gripe out of his system. He gets that official rematch with whoever is champion. But if he loses, it allows him to, well, go deeper into this crash out character of his, and this crash out character of his is very interesting. So a loss wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for him. But with Finn Balor, it seems like the fact that we're heating him up, he's the logical choice, but he's a babyface. Are we just going to go from a babyface versus babyface feud of Cody and CM Punk into another babyface versus babyface feud with Finn Balor? And Finn Balor had a bunch of title matches at the beginning of the year as well. So I'm kind of thinking we're going Sami Zayn here, and I don't know what we do with Finn. Maybe someone interferes. Maybe it's the MFTs and Shinsuke Nakamura. Maybe we're about to start a New Japan type of faction or something. But yeah, I'm thinking Finn is going to lose somehow, unless they bring out the Demon. But I don't think they're bringing out the Demon. So yeah, I'm going Sami Zayn. Next up is probably going to be the match of the night or weekend. It's Chad Gable versus Penta. This comes off of Chad Gable's apology tour for his war on luchadors in AAA. Now, they are cordial. This is babyface versus babyface match. There's no heat going into this whatsoever. It's just going to be a good old contest. And I wish there was heat, but there's not. That said, Chad Gable's gonna win. That Grande Americano feud was the best in over a decade. The best feud in a decade. They gotta give it to Chad Gable. They just have to. Plus, he's the best wrestler on the roster. The dude has been in WWE longer than Kurt Angle was in WWE, and he's still yet to win a singles title. It's time. It's dang time for him to win, and he is going to. Sorry, Penta, I love you, but it's Chad Gable's moment. The other mid-card title is the U.S. Championship held by Trick Williams, and he is facing Baron Corbin. This match was announced on after SmackDown on Friday. I did talk about it more in depth on yesterday's video. This matchup, there's really not much to it. I feel it should have been Carmelo Hayes, but I believe they're just inserting Baron Corbin so Trick can get a big win against somebody who can just suffer and eat losses, and that is a dude they just brought back 2 weeks ago. I don't really got much to say here. My brain would probably melt if Baron Corbin beat Trick Williams. I would question existence itself if I witnessed Baron Corbin pinning Trick Williams for the title at SummerSlam. It just can't happen. It would go against every law of the universe for Baron Corbin to beat Trick Williams right now. No, don't do that. All right, so now let's talk about the maybe matches, because ESPN has started to request more matches on the PLEs. If I'm looking at the storylines right now, the plausible ones are The Vision versus Otis and Tozawa. Now, Otis and Tozawa, they have a non-title match on Raw this week, so I could see them winning that somehow to get the match to then go to SummerSlam and have ourselves an actual championship match. If that happened, we're gonna give it to The Vision. The only way we don't is if we're trying to get Braun Breaker out of The Vision. That way, if he loses, he has nothing really tying him to it anymore. But yeah, no, I think The Vision, they retain because they have nothing for Braun Breaker right now. So in Triple H's mind, he's like, well, at least he's still a champion here. So yeah, The Vision would win that. Now, there is potential for another tag team championship matchup, and that's the War Raiders versus R-Truth and Damian Priest. If this happens, I think we give it to the War Raiders. I could see them winning because R-Truth and Damian Priest, they've been champions for a minute, and it seems like we're trying to get Damian Priest back into the singles action. He's been saying things to CM Punk, he's been saying things to Cody Rhodes. So yeah, take him out of tag team competition by having him lose the belts. And our final maybe kind of sort of match could be Lyra Valkyria versus Sol Ruka. During a commercial break on Netflix, Sol Ruka was confronted by Lyra Valkyria. Maybe Lyra attacks Sol Ruka after her match on Raw this week, and Sol Ruka's like, I'm a fighting champion, let's do this at SummerSlam. If that's the case, I could see Sol Ruka winning. I could probably see her winning. I think they're not taking the title off her. However, we could also do a rematch of Bayley and Lyra. If that happens, then I'm thinking Lyra would win. Or we do a triple threat where it's Bayley, Lyra, and Sol Ruka facing each other. And if that were to happen, it would go Sol Ruka. Unfortunately, in all the timelines, Bayley's just not winning. All right, so now let's go back to announced matchups. Danhausen versus Dominic Mysterio. I would love for Dominic to get the first pinfall on Danhausen, but I just don't think we're going to do it. Right now, Nick Khan, TKO, WWE, ESPN, they're all thrilled with the work that Danhausen has been doing, especially since he helped the Knicks win the championship. So I'm thinking this matchup, it's a foregone conclusion. We're just going to let Danhausen win. My hope is that Dominic Mysterio can get far away from Danhausen after this, because I think 1 month long feuds with Danhausen are fine, but if you get into a 3 to 4 month feud with Danhausen, then your character definitely takes a couple hits. Like, look at The Miz and look at Kit Wilson. If they had ended that at Backlash, they would have been perfectly fine to go on with their lives. But when their feud continued, it just got worse and worse and worse. And I think right now, if Dom can't get out of the storyline here, then his character is going to suffer. So hopefully, fingers crossed, Danhausen just wins and moves on the Women's Interim Championship. This is a ladder match. There is still one person who has yet to be announced for it. It's 5 women. We got Chelsea Green, Tiffany Stratton, Jade Cargill, and Charlotte Flair. I think they're going to add Nia Jax to it because Nia Jax has been kind of screwed both times between Charlotte and Jade. So we're just going to enter her in because it's like, oh yeah, just go for it. But there's also a slim possibility Lash Legend. That said, I think the dark horse pick is Chelsea Green. She might be the one that surprises and shocks everybody. This would be a good way to get the belt on her without really burying anybody because there's 5 women in the match. So, like, you give Chelsea the chance. You give her kind of like what we did with Sami Zayn. Here you go, Chelsea Green. Let's get your fans to shut up about you being champion, and you won. You won your championship. It's the interim women's championship, so it doesn't really matter. So, dark horse pick, I'm going Chelsea Green, and that's who I want to win, to be honest with you. I would love if she won. But my real pick, though, is Charlotte Flair. She hasn't been champion in a while, and honestly, she has a natural babyface run going right now. Usually WWE has had to try to force a babyface turn down our throats, but the fans are actually liking her. So this would actually be kind of a good opportunity. She wins the title. She can continue having her feud with Jade Cargill. Then Rhea Ripley comes back, and Charlotte and Rhea, they always produce banger matches. So yeah, I'm thinking Charlotte Flair is the play here. Next match is interesting because we have ourselves the WWE debut of Nick Aldis, which also might be his retirement match for all we know, even though Nick Aldis is literally younger than everybody fighting for the main men's belt. Yeah, Nick Aldis is 39 years old. He's younger than everybody in the main event scene. But he is facing Gunther, and this is his first and maybe his last matchup. Gunther did say, I am going to retire you and add you to that list of names of John Cena, AJ Styles, and that other guy. Well, honestly, it has to be Gunther. It really does have to be Gunther. Even if we want Nick to become a full-time wrestler, it's like, no shame in losing to Gunther. But if Gunther loses here, then it's like what Nick said. You're going to lose to a guy who hasn't wrestled in 3 years. Like, we can't do that to Gunther. Even if you don't like Gunther, you have to admit he's a worthy heel, an adversary. Like, it'd be kind of interesting to see him go up against maybe Roman Reigns, right? Or he could be a credible challenger to Oba Femi when he gets the title. But if he loses to Nick Aldis, and no shade on Nick Aldis, but again, if he loses to a former GM that hasn't wrestled in 3 years, then him and Braun Breaker can go sit in catering together because, like, it'll be dunzo. Dunzo for Gunther. Gunther's winning. Gunther takes it. So next up, we got Liv Morgan, who has not defended her title one time since WrestleMania, April 19th. She did go into the Queen of the Ring tournament just to lose, and the person who pinned her to pick her as the champion that she wants to face at SummerSlam, and that being Io Sky. I kind of think that Liv Morgan would win here because Stephanie Vakir, I think, is coming back. I don't think Triple H has any plans for the women's division with the exception of Stephanie Vakir as his top gal. Like, I'm being honest with you. I mean, literally last Monday Night Raw, they had 0 matches. The women had 0 matches. You know what? I I got it. I know what's going to happen. Liv Morgan's going to lose. I just thought of this. She's currently in a program with Danhausen, like the whole Judgment Day, and she's been cursed. She's been cursed. I bet Stephanie Vakir returns here. Cost Liv the match. It goes to Io Sky. Then we'll have Liv and Stephanie. They'll have a little bit of a feud before Stephanie goes and faces Io Sky and wins the title there. Yeah. The Danhausen curse is going to be undefeated, as Michael Cole would say, and Liv Morgan losing. Io Sky, your next champion. Now we go to our two main events. I believe Cody and CM Punk will be night one. I could also see Oba and Brock be night one main event, but I don't know. I think Oba Brock's only going to go 8 minutes. You know what I mean? So yeah, Cody, CM Punk, and I'm actually going to go CM Punk. I think Cody realizes he needs to chase the title for a little bit. He needs to be away from the main event scene for a little bit, and I wish he would go heel. Now, if he went heel, that would be amazing. That'd be amazing. And if he went heel, then maybe Finn Balor would beat Sami Zayn. But no, I'm thinking Cody loses here and be out of the title scene for a good minute. And I don't think he minds losing to CM Punk. So yes, this will be good for Cody's character to lose. And I think that's the play. They're gonna freshen up the scene for a little bit. And finally, we got Seth freaking Rollins versus Roman Reigns. This is being billed as Seth Rollins being the one guy that Roman can't beat, even though Roman has beat him on Raw, I believe 2 times. But I digress. On the grand stage, on the big stage, a PLE, Roman has never beaten Seth. And I honestly don't know who to call here. It feels like it should be Roman Reigns. It feels like everyone's like, yeah, Roman Reigns is going to win this. But the threat of Oba Femi looms. The fact is, Oba Femi is owed a title shot after SummerSlam. Therefore, wouldn't Oba just want that title shot immediately? And I don't think they're going to give Roman and Oba away at just a random PLE at WrestlePalooza or Saturday Night's Main Event or whatever's next. I think they're going to save Roman and Oba for WrestleMania. That means Seth freaking Rollins would need to beat Roman just so he could drop the title to Oba. Then Seth gets to brag over Roman. Roman has something that he still has to accomplish in his career. Oba Femi can take the title off of Seth. Roman and Oba can fight at Mania. It just seems, oh man, I'm going against the majority of the entire population of Earth, and I'm picking Seth Rollins. I went in thinking I was going to pick Roman, but the more I talked it out, the more I think it's going to be Seth. A shock victory right here. We're all expecting Roman. We're getting Seth. So, all right, boys. All right, girls. Those are my predictions. Let me know yours in the comments below. I think on Wednesday, I'll do a grade for every build to SummerSlam, every match build to SummerSlam. Spoiler alert, it's not looking good. And then we'll stream SummerSlam also next week. See ya, bye.